the holy grail is search engine traffic, and most specifically Google traffic, because that's what people search in the most is Google. And so everyone wants to know, okay, well, can I place well in Google? Because then I'll be able to make a lot of money. Well, I mean, first of all, it's just silly to base a business idea on one particular traffic source, but you got to remember there's a lot of things out there other than Google. I mean, we get some Google traffic, but we get far more from iTunes. We made that one of our primary sources. Nobody was there doing that thing. There's YouTube. That's a channel. That's a search engine. That's a place for content. That's a place to attract leads and customers. There's Facebook, Twitter, and social bookmarking. All these, there's all these great new channels that Google's just one of many. And in some ways, YouTube is as big of a search engine as Google is now. So the point being is there's a way to find your own voice like we did, a way to set yourself aside, apart. I mean, if nothing else, your personality and your approach are going to be different than the next guy. And some people are just not going to like. I mean, we have people come to us all the time and say, I listened to Guru, John Doe, and I just don't like his style. But I connect with. When I heard you guys, I knew through your story, you're the one I needed to learn from.
Well, and that some people listen to us and that Guru John Doe and went, I don't like those guys. I like Guru John
Exactly.
Doe.
Yep.
Right? You will find your audience by just being, maybe a more extreme version of you or however you want to create a persona. But that's a huge thing to know. And I think this is another part of that getting stuck in questions. And just a couple of days ago, I was talking with a friend who wants to start a new internet business where he's the guru or the expert. And again, people are always a little bit nervous. Oh, I hope people like me. And I was like, there's a lot of people in this planet. Internet business is a worldwide business.
Yeah.
You will find your audience, and the numbers don't have to be big for you to make an incredible living with it.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking to one of our platinum people recently. We're like, okay, how many people are in the world? 6, 7 billion, something like that. And it's like, okay, and you're planning on doing such and such, and okay, you want to do a membership site, and you're going to charge this amount, and how much do you need to be able to live off of it? And they told us, and we said, okay, let's run the numbers. And in the end, it was they just needed to maintain a few hundred people out of 6 billion in the world. They just needed to have a few hundred people who liked their stuff enough to sign up for their membership site. And guess what? There's new people being born every day. So,
yeah.
Yep. Okay, so, if the competition is too high, there's still a lot of ways around that. Just remember, you are you have your personality. You can find an approach that's different from other people. You can find a channel that's different from other people. And just because you search in Google and see, 460 million results does not mean that you're immediately going to be crushed. So, and you know what, here's the thing is the approach that we teach is based on this whole, content marketing, put highly relevant content out that's very valuable to your market and put your personality out there and become an expert and a voice and build up a loyal community around you. And you know what? A lot of people aren't willing to do that form of business. So if you are, well, guess what? You're gonna stand out. You're gonna get your audience. It's just a matter of time.
Well, and honestly, again, part of the approach that we've been teaching for a long time, again, with that giving out free content, it amuses me every day when I see the big gurus now. Everybody's been talking for the last year or so about free content. And I just have to laugh. I was like, yeah, 5.5 years ago or whatever, when we started the podcast 5 years ago, the entire goal was to give a bunch of free content.
Yeah.
And now people are finally on board. Okay, free content, that's the way to go. But there are so many people in so many niches that have no idea, though, still, that is a way to draw an incredibly large community of people. And so, again, even if the competition's high, I see new markets all the time when I'm talking to people about their business. And all I have to do is look, are they giving away free content? Are they doing any of the stuff that we teach? And almost every time, there was only one time that somebody actually was doing a little bit of it, but they weren't doing it right and they weren't doing a lot of it. It was just a little bit. So, I mean, even if that competition's high, there are definitely ways to dominate in a market. So don't let that hang you up.
Lots of opportunity out there. Okay, so let's say you go and run the numbers and the searches and the keyword tools are just really low. It just doesn't look like many people are searching for it. Well, first of all, you have to remember it's like not any, a lot of the keyword search tools aren't perfect. They each have their own methods, and none of them are surefire methods of having like actual solid numbers. Sometimes they're their best estimate. They have different formulas they use, different numbers that they have access to. And in the end, the best test of a market is going to be just getting out there and seeing what the market tells you. See, putting some content out there. I mean, that's what I did with my podcasting thing. I said, okay, I'm going for it. And I decided I'm going to make a podcasting tutorial site, and I put it online. I said, I'm going to give this a few months and I'll see if the traffic comes. I'll see if the opt-ins come. I'll see if people, start showing interest in buying something. And that's what I did. And guess what? It worked. Like, people were hungry for the kind of information that I was putting it out there in the way that I was putting it out. Because I could see, sure, there was a lot of other free information out there about podcasting here and there, but it was all like totally geeked out or incomplete, or none of it was like video step-by-step look over my shoulder. And I found approaches to teach it in a way that nobody else was doing that. So, there's an example of the searches were really low, and I just had to let the market prove it out. Now, that's not to say that, you take the whole picture in, but there's a lot of other possibilities. Now, you might have to spend some money to get leads. I mean, search is only one place to get your traffic. I mean, we've already said like Google's only one place. I mean, sure, it's the holy grail for a lot of people, but it's only one place. There's a lot of other ways to get traffic, a lot of other ways to spend money. I mean, iTunes, there's no numbers. We just had to, basically say, let's try this and see if through iTunes we can attract enough people to make a good income stream out of.
Yeah, all we saw at the time was competition. Who's the competition? Are there is there competition already in there? That was it.
And you might have to go offline as well with your marketing. I mean, that's the other thing to remember is, we talk about internet business, internet marketing, but just because you deliver your product through the internet or drive people to your site doesn't mean you can't go, classified ads still work, direct mail can still work. There's still things out there that work offline, and connecting offline with online is actually a great way to find people as well. Now, in the end, yes, it might mean that you need to move to another niche, and that's okay, because you know what, hopefully you have a list of 20, and or at the very least, and you go through those and you make your short list, and you might have to tweak the niche a little bit, or step over to another one, or broaden it out a bit, or whatever the case may be. So yes, there are cases where if the searches are too low, you might have to step on to another idea. But keep some of those things that we just said in mind, because we don't want you to give up on a niche too early, and we certainly don't want you just to like not do anything and not take action because you're sitting there dwelling on the numbers, because in the end, it's in taking action and seeing what happens that you will really know.
Yeah, I guess I would say, like with your podcasting one, the word podcasting hadn't been around long, so you went more with your gut feeling. But if a word has been around for a really long time, like let's say macrame, and you really had a passion for macrame, it always makes me laugh, that word. But when you do the searches, they're super low. Like the last month, 10 people searched for that, then I would stay away. That's the one time I would really look at the numbers. If there was just nobody searching and it's not some new key phrase or keyword like podcasting, it's been around forever, then